Right, there we go. All right, guys. Hey, welcome to everybody. Anybody that's looking into Tully, whether you're a youth football program, a high school PE program, or a gym. This is a sample demo and a just a walkthrough for day one. And I'm with my buddy AJ Dickens from the Tri-Town Renegades, which is a youth football program in New Hampshire. They serve the towns of Epping, Fremont, Raymond, and where else, AJ?
It's Epping, Newmarket, and Raymond. We do have a lot of Fremont kids because they're a free agent town.
Gotcha.
But
So pretty cool, bringing kids from different towns all together, and starting to see the benefit of tracking some data and giving some confidence boost to some young kids, and especially when they don't share a school. I think that's even better because kids can report in from different places and still stay connected in their competition and in their strength programs, even if it's at different places. So. AJ, anything else you want to say about the program before I take you through the demo?
um, no, I would. It's a smaller program, second grade through eighth grade. Um, Last year we had about 130-ish kids total between all the levels. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. And you guys do a hell of a job. You guys do a great job. I saw you guys at a few places. So yeah,
We try our best.
let's get into it. All right, so I'm on AJ's page. We'll jump back and forth between an already established page and the new page that AJ has. So for the Renegades, this is a blank slate. Blank slate. We just got it today. So let's take you through. So when you click on the Tully logo, this is going to be the home screen. All right. This will just be some general information. Pretty cool to see how many data points you start to collect over time, especially because you guys are going to look into doing it throughout the off season and let some kids do some stuff with their dads or other coaches or whatever. I think it's an awesome idea. Um, you're going to get a rundown on Tully scores, which we'll go over a bunch here. Um, Attendance, which you guys might not check in kids individually because at the youth level, most of the time coaches are just going to do sort of a bulk entry. But when kids enter it individually, you'll be able to see their attendance. In here, you'll see the most recent submissions, so you'll be able to see, a kid's 10-yard dash or pro shuttle, whatever you want to look at. All right, if we click on Tully scores, this is where you'll get more of a full rundown of everybody's rankings. All right, and the coolest thing about the Tully score, which I say anytime I talk about Tully, is that it basically can put everything together: speed, strength, academics, volunteer work, whatever you want to measure, and rank the kids on, so that you reward what you want to reward. That can take all of that, and the algorithm will end up spitting out a Tully score. So you don't have to add things up. You don't have to do everything. You're going to get a pretty good idea of who's doing what you need them to do. And that Tully score goes from 1 to 100, like a Madden rating, and you can change it based on a few different things. So, AJ, you're at a youth level. Um, you can decide how you want that algorithm to play with it. Do you want to reward more improvement? Do you want to reward more performance? And honestly, you can change that anytime, but it's pretty cool to be able to check on both ends of it. Typically at the high school level, I set it to like 80-20, so that truly the best performers are towards the top, but it lets some of those middle of the road kids or the big improvement kids get some recognition as well. You can also click
Yeah,
on.
I think
Yeah, go for it.
I think improvement is definitely the way that we'd want to go.
Yeah, for sure. Just because at the youth level, I mean, whatever you can do to reward the most kids, they are not ready to be the big stars that sometimes people think they are. So when you get a combination of, yep, you're going to have some kids who are the starters, the star quarterbacks, the touchdown scorers, the kids that get in the paper, the popular kids in school, all that stuff, that's fine. But if you also have that theory of, hey, I'm going to go 80-20 on improvement, now all the kids that are improving the most in their jumps and their runs and their strength work, those kids get recognized, especially if you post it uh, on the team communication app or on the Facebook page or something like that. So, so you can do that any way you want, and you can prioritize uh, how much you want the algorithm to factor in running, jumping, force, like a grip strength type of thing. There's a few different things for force or overall number of repetitions. So if you wanted to do um, like a max push-up test, you could do really whatever you guys have for a philosophy. All right. So that's the Tully score rundown. The rest of these here are going to really come together once you have all your data. So you can click on team data and sort through whatever sports they play. You can create groups. Maybe you create a group for the junior team and the senior team and all that other stuff. You can sort it any way you want,
Okay.
and it'll give you information on how they're improving and what the average rates are for that group and how they're improving in each individual metric. All right, so then you can go through your metrics.
Okay.
We'll show you how to make those in a second. Um, as we go down, if we hit athlete summary, okay, right now, there's no Tully scores or anything like that. I can go through it quickly with mine, but this will show you what their Tully score is, how they're doing. This is what kids will have on their own phone. So if kids and parents want to have access to their child's um, athlete summary, they can do that. All they have to do is join with the QR code up top. So you can send that to them on the communication app. You can send them the link, any of that stuff. It won't give them access to everybody else's business. You know what I mean? I think that's probably the last thing we want to do is give every parent access to every other child. I don't think that's right. So it's pretty good to just be able to see, hey, here's where I rank. Here's my Tully score, and then that's all the information they really need. The pulse score is another one that you probably won't do much of when you do it in groups, but this is just going to be, it's going to ask them uh, a few questions before they even enter any data when they log in on their own. You know, how sore are you 1 to 5? What's your energy level? How'd you sleep last night? Those kind of things, and it can track all of those deals. So if you see, hey, 90% of my athletes are feeling like they didn't get enough sleep, you know what might be the lifestyle talk of the day for a little while. So. Um, Leaderboards,
Yep.
you can create a leaderboard based on your own set of metrics. So maybe you say, hey, we have a big we have our big three events. It's a 40-yard dash, it's a long jump, and a push-up test, all the way to high school where we're going to do more deadlifts and squats and cleans and that kind of stuff. You could do little leaderboards within make little clubs for yourself, basically. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so for the roster, if you're going to manually add kids in, you can do that first. You don't have to wait for a kid to log in and create it. You can just do it yourself. So if I wanted to add a person, right, I could just put, right, or I would recommend for youth kids, doing like just the first name and maybe the last initial. Like if you're going to post any screenshots, I would always start off by just putting their last initial because then parents can go in and by all means if they want to change the name that's fine, but you never get called on saying that you had a full name on someone that didn't give permission, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say they're on, AJD's on the football team. We're going to add a group. We'll create a group called the senior division. Okay, your class year. What year did you graduate high school?
2006.
Oh yeah, so super senior, great. All right, but you can put those kids in, put their year in, so you can sort them by grade. That then you can give the high school some information on the upcoming grades and that kind of stuff. It's pretty good. So um, for the gender, if you have females playing, it does factor in male versus female strength standards and that kind of stuff. So it gives a little bit of more reward to female athletes just to factor that in. It's been pretty good. You don't have to put an email yet. You could add that after, or they could add it, and then you're enrolled in there. Okay. And if I want to send it to you, I just send the invite to an email. All right. So I have to add that email, all that stuff. Any questions on anything so far, bud?
Nope. I'm good so far.
Okay. All right, so for metrics and assessments, we can put in whatever we want. Um, I played in with a few things at my youth program. I forget, I don't know if Adam put these in or whatever, but um, you can add any metric you want. All right, so you could delete these if you wanted to. You could put in whatever you guys want to measure, and you can start as small as you want, whatever gives you enough information without overwhelming the coaches or the kids. So for high school, you're going to see much more deadlift, squat, clean, maybe 40-yard dash. Whereas with the youth programs, you can add in anything you want. I love the broad jump. I love the 10-yard dash. Just doing grip strength instead of trying to bring a bench press out there and that kind of stuff, right? Just
Right.
something quick so you don't have to, not that you can't measure how many push-ups, but when you're thinking just how do I just measure raw strength in 5 seconds, right? If you can get one of those grip strength dynamometers, that's a great way to do it. So we can talk about metrics anytime you want, but for anybody looking for Tully, it doesn't matter if you're youth or high school or whatever. There's no set metrics that you have to use. You can use whatever. And if we want to
Are
add
there?
one,
I was just gonna say, is there like a drop down with them, or you just type in your own? But
yep. So you
perfect.
have Tully has created through most of the common ones that you'll see through high schools and gyms that they've used. You have everything in here that you could ask for there. But if something doesn't fit in and you want to measure something a little different, you just make it yourself. So if we were going to do, for you guys, let's say we did a wall sit, okay, and we could set it up for um, we'll go minutes and add. So now you have a wall sit test if you wanted to do that, right? If we wanted to say, let's look for another one that you could do at a football practice. So 10-yard dash is in there. Maybe you have 10-yard fly. Um, if you guys do the three cone drill, any of that stuff. And it has
I was thinking of doing the three cone drill. So
perfect. Yeah, treat it like the NFL. As long as you find some things that you consistently test and the kids know the difference between did I get better? If you and I both do the test, you know, who performed better. It's kind of cool when they're sitting in the cafeteria at school going like, "Hey, my three cone test better than yours," and you get that healthy competition. So you set it for all teams, you set it for what units you want, and then you're good to go there. Okay. So assessments we can put in. This is if you wanted to do something that involves like an equation. So for us, we'll do one that we call truck stick, which was invented, I guess, by Garrett Mueller up in Minnesota. He's a high school coach. He's doing a really good job with some speed-based and sprint-based football up there. And our base way of doing it is pretty much your weight divided by whatever run you want to use. So your weight divided by your 10-yard dash or your weight divided by your 10-yard fly time. And it rewards um, some of the bigger kids. It gives them a kind of a collision score instead of just a speed score, if that makes sense.
gotcha.
So if you have anything like that, you can do it, and that'll help you um, do the calculation if you don't want to do it by hand. All right. Okay, so these two down here, I think I'm going to jump into mine as we get going here, um, because then we actually everything down here will be better to see what I have. So
Okay.
let's switch over. Okay. So for me, I have mostly high school kids that I've been training. We did 1 year of a pilot program with our youth program last year, and it's gonna be even better this year. But I think this has the most data in it. This is, almost 9,000 data points collected over the last year or so. Again, all the review of what we said before, this is what it looks like, right? So this is the top 10 showing up. I see how many check-ins we've had. I've seen some recent things that have gone in. If I click on Tully scores, here's the deal. So I can look at the time frame too, AJ. You can go over the last year if we factored in everything. This girl Brooke, again, female athlete, but amazing standards, awesome stuff. She's got a score of 93, and if we were playing Madden or FIFA or whatever whatever video game, that you'd want to
Yeah.
play. She's pretty much a 93. It's kind of funny. I mean, obviously, some kids' skill levels change things, right? You have a very weak kid in the weight room who's just super skilled at lacrosse or something, or you have a real strong kid that's just really not skilled on the field. But overall, it's pretty good. This would be a pretty good deal of who I'd want to draft for my team if I had a Madden fantasy draft. Um, you can also sort it by the last 30 days or the last 60 days, whatever you want to say, telling kids, hey, you gotta try to put in a score every month. I want to know that you're doing enough throughout the year to at least have your eye on it. They don't need to be obsessed. They don't need to make it the only thing they're doing. I hope they're playing other sports. But this is how you can sort it. You can do it any way you want. If I just want to sort how my this one class that I have, like I have my all my PE classes in here too. So my block 2A class, I can show them their rankings and where they stand. You can do it however you want. So if you did junior, senior, um, junior team, senior team, youth team, whatever, you could put them into groups however you wanted. I could choose whoever plays football. Right. So these are all football players actually at two different schools because I work at two different high schools teaching strength. So I just put them in a group. Campbell High School kid here, Wyndham High School kid is in first place, so they get that fun competition.
Gotcha.
All right, so data entry. Let's see if hopefully something from yesterday comes up. Okay, it looks like I created a new sheet. But if we're doing data entry, this is what your coaches would have on their iPad or their phone, or if you want to just record it on a paper sheet and then come in and do it later, whatever does it the fastest, it works. You don't have to enter it right here, but you could theoretically do it without paper. So whatever you're measuring that day, let's say we're going to go. I'm going to go groups. So if I do it for a PE class, this could be the same as your team because maybe there's 20 kids on a team and whatever. So let's see how many I got here. That's a smaller group. Let's go here again. Yeah, so I got about the size of a youth football team here, right? And let's say, hey, today at practice, guys, we're going to be working on our blitz package on defense. We're going to work on our perimeter game on offense, and the two things we're going to try to get on Tully tonight for everybody is the pro shuttle and the 10-yard start, right? Or maybe it's I have grip strength on here somewhere. There we go. Right. So these are the three things. You can put them up right away, and then maybe you have a coach who's just a kind of the strength coach. His job is to pull kids aside, especially if they're waiting in line for something or they're subbing out of a team drill for a little bit, right? Gives a huge advantage to you guys being able to keep those kids doing something productive instead of them just goofing around at the back. You know what I mean? So all you do is enter all that stuff in, just however they score, boom, 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 put their score in, and then you can actually see it in the data live feed. So let me see. I haven't done any yet today in my classes, so let me see if something can show up. Okay, there we go. All right. So if I wanted to go through my pro shuttle times, what'll happen is when you when you enter those new times or new scores, they go
Mhm.
in real time. You could theoretically show your kids at the end of practice, hit this live feed, and what'll happen is when a kid sets a PR in a new score, like that day, it'll actually show up green. If they went to a poorer score, it would show up red. This orange means it's basically it's not new. It's like their last score, and it's been a while since they've measured it. Um, but it's pretty cool when
Okay.
you get to see, hey guys, we set three PRs in the 10-yard start. We set six PRs in the shuttle, and five guys got uh, stronger in the grip strength. Hell of a job. That's a great practice. Um, you find different reasons to call people out for good things, if that makes sense. So you can have that live
Yeah,
feed anytime you
definitely.
want. Yep. And then data management is sort of the long-term one. So this one you can look anywhere you want, right? I want to look at any football player who's run a 10-yard start recently, right? and I can look at all this. I can sort it, what date they did it, that kind of stuff. But right here, this is sort of our leaderboard. This is another built-in leaderboard. Okay, so these are the best scores we've gotten for 10-yard fly. If someone had entered something that was really weird, let's say let's say a coach makes a mistake or a kid tells you a time that you're like, I don't really believe that one. You can go in and just dump those. You can take that off and just have them put it in again. So uh,
You mean you
we've
didn't
been
run the 10-yard start in under a second?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can also export this. So you could either screenshot this and post the screenshot on your Facebook page, right? Like maybe you say, hey, today we're gonna post the top 10 um, you know, whatever, 10-yard dashes. The next day you might post the top 10 Tully score kids with, improvement as the main thing. And then you highlight one kid that, might need a little bit of extra, TLC and some love, So pretty cool there. So if you hit export, you just download it. It'll show up in Microsoft Excel if you like it that way. A lot of times,
Nice.
yeah, so it's pretty good. You can at least download it if you want. Um, Most of the time, I will just screenshot it because I can always get that information back anytime. All right. So then down here, we have our program list. So for you don't even need to do it this way, but if you wanted to, you can put it in any way you want. Like if you're an advanced program that's like a gym or a college or whatever, you can put all the details that you could ever ask for in this stuff. So you know the I don't even have that one created yet. I did that for fun. But if I go to my base strength workout, okay, I can make certain workouts visible to the kids so they can click on the program viewer, and they can do it. Okay. If I want to edit anything, I get a description here. I put in the exercise name. I could create a link if you need a video for it, you either make a link or find one on YouTube or whatever, so they can see what it looks like if you need to. And
Okay.
then um, here you could create more sets. You could do all different stuff. You can play with percentages and all that stuff. We don't typically do that, and I wouldn't recommend it to most youth football teams early on. I would just say your best way to do it would be, three to six total measurements, maybe three speed things and three strength things, and just keep using those because the number one function of it is to build confidence and let kids see there's some quantifiable improvement going on. So that's
Okay.
how you build the programs up. We can do a full deal on that sometime. Then if you hit program viewer, let's say if we go to that same thing, this is what the kid would see on their phone. Let's say that the kid and their dad go out in the yard and they measure, um, they're going to go do long jump for a little bit, or they're going to go do a couple races. Okay, they can click on this workout, and if you have the race events in there, all they do is they hit plus. They put their name in. Okay, so let's say it's Aiden. If I'm Aiden's dad, I check him in. Here's that pulse check, right? Hey, Aiden's feeling good here. We hit submit. Okay, and then we go in and we add whatever event we've clicked on. All right, so you can do it in that format, which is great for kids to do it on their own. Young kids, I would recommend say, hey, if you're doing stuff with your dad or your friends are just doing a race, like I wouldn't do strength stuff with young kids. But high school kids that are responsible and they're going to Planet Fitness or whatever, they can input that data from anywhere, even if they can't make it to a team workout, which makes it really good. So
Okay.
so yeah, man, that's kind of how we roll. If you ever need to just add data on the fly, you click this plus button. If you ever need a timer, you just hit that and you can say, hey guys, we get this much left in a period to get the all our speed stuff done that day. This, like we said, is that QR code, which you know, I would recommend parents being the ones that have the account for a youth program, but you guys can see what parents are allowing and all that stuff. But yeah, man,
Uh,
that's pretty much the rundown. Any questions?
yeah, so two that I can think of. One, you'd said about if we put the kid in ourselves, do the first name, then like first initial, the last name, and then
Mhm.
the parents can decide. So, does the QR code? Is there a certain QR code? Like if I've already created the kid,
It's all the
for them
same
to click
QR
on?
code. Yep, it's all the same QR code. And what they'll do is when they go to it, they'll start typing in their name, and it should show up. And then when they click that name, they want to basically click their name, and they want to click on athlete summary, which will take them to a screen that'll basically say, would you like to claim this account? So even though you created it, those kids could those kids or parents could create that account. So oh,
Okay,
we got
and
a
then
quick announcement. So,
oh
um,
no, sorry.
so yeah, so they would just click, all they have to do is click on it, find their name in the list that you've already made. If you have not added them yet, they can create their own.
Okay, um, and then I forget what my other question was. Um, yeah, I forget what my other question was. It had to do with the sorting, I believe. Oh no, it was almost if they put in a score, if they go to put in if they do some, you were saying about making sure they test once a month or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, let's say they don't do all of the things we test for. If we're testing for six, let's say that they just you know they don't have they're not a multi-sport athlete or whatever. They're at home and they just want to put in. They like to do push-ups at home though, and
Yep,
they want to go put in their push-ups. Will that still update all the score? Everything together with just putting in the push-ups,
absolutely.
or
Yep, they don't
do
have to
they
do
want?
everything. It's sort of just like what are you practicing? And we're working on a few different options where you can. One of the newest upgrades will be if you want to reward like the number of metrics that they do. Like, for example, if a kid's really good at push-ups, but you see he's clearly avoiding practicing something he's not good at, like a speed event, right?
Yeah.
It you should be able to sort that pretty soon. You can do it just by looking at someone's profile at first.
So
So
you
like if I went to a leading scorer, like I'm one of the leading scorers. If I went through, I can see all the metrics that I've put in recently, right? And I can see how many times and all that other stuff. So if something's really, um, the last date was like this is a pretty recent date. It was yesterday, I think. But
okay?
if you look at a kid, you go, wow, everything he's put in, he's put in front squat 10 times this month. And okay, when we look at press, he's done nothing, or he's only benched, or he's only done speed events or something like that. You can definitely tell, but it still factors it in. It still definitely lets them be rewarded for that part.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So again, and I didn't get to show a full athlete summary. This is what the athlete summary looks like. If I look at my score, this is what every kid will be able to see this. This is something that's on all three. They won't have all these navigators and all that other stuff, but they'll have this. They'll get to see where do they rank out of everything in all the groups and teams that they're in. So that's really cool. And they can again change the time frame. So if they want to say, hey, all time, my score is an 88. Over the last 60 days, all right, also an 88. See if anything changed over 90. Yep. So it's still the score is pretty similar. I'm guessing because my scores have been pretty consistent. I haven't tried to get too much stronger. I'm trying to just maintain stuff. But yeah, so you can see in the last 30 days I'm only an 86. But it's so cool. It's so fast what they can see, and whatever sparks a kid's motivation is really helpful. So I can
And
see,
obviously, multiple parents could claim the QR code to claim a
yes,
kid, so that they don't have they can each have it on their own phone or whatever, own
exactly.
login or whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, for sure. So, and then, like I said, you can look at recent trends and all that stuff. Hex bar, I have it over. So I'll finish with this. If I go to all time, because I started in pretty early, right? So you can see like my hex bar deadlift. I had a few times I entered it last year where I really started pushing a little bit. Recently, I've been doing mostly maintenance type stuff. But some kids it'll go up and down like the stock market, but you can see the trends of going up and down or how long they're taking in between putting in scores and all that stuff. So if you ever want to look at any
Gotcha.
particular kids' stuff, you can, but they can always access their own.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, man. So that's the basic rundown. And just so anybody knows, anybody that's jumping into this, it doesn't end with like one introduction. If you ever need anything, just reach out, and whether it's making a video for you or doing a one-on-one live like this, we can do that anytime. And hopefully it starts catching on with some youth football, just like it will in at the Tri-Town Renegades, because that quality of practice gets so much better when they all have something to do. They all have something to be confident about. Even if they haven't hit a growth spurt and they can't beat the kids next to them, they can focus on their own self improvement, just to keep kids in the game, keep them playing, because you never know who's going to sprout up a foot or who's going to become a stud athlete. A lot of times it's very different from fifth grade till ninth grade, who those star athletes are. So
Yeah,
yeah, AJ. Okay.
the big sell point for me was what you just said, keeping them engaged. So I'll be able to now, have coaches. I have some parents that fathers that aren't big football people, but they want to help. It's like, okay, well, go time the kids in the 10-yard shuttle when they're not, or the 10-yard dash when they're not in the drill, so we can keep them engaged. So that's what I love about one of the things I love about it.
It's huge. Yeah, that and then being able to do that consistently and rank and record it and celebrate those kids. I think the number one thing for me at the youth level is the connection between coaches and parents. I think there's a really rough situation between coaches and parents at some point because of the conflict of coaches loving the team and parents loving their kids. And if parents can see, hey, this guy or this girl's putting in a lot of time to take care of my kid, even though my kid's not a star, I think you got a really good situation there. So, all right, man. Well, I'm gonna sign off for now. I'm heading to class, and if you need anything, reach out. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Catch you later.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks. You too.